Okay. Amrish Baliga is also here with us with his views. Amrish, what's your call on the markets for the medium term?
No, Devin, I can't hear you.
Is my voice reaching you now?
I can't hear you.
All right, I don't think Amrish. Okay, we'll just try and fix that. We'll go back to Amrish in just a few moments. Mehrabun, you were talking about a few names. You mentioned Himmat Singha. Any other such names that one could look at?
I think over the last many months on your channel, I think we have recommended names like Sun Pharma Advanced, MRF, Motherson Sumi, Tata Motors DVR included, Biocon. I think we are quite comfortable with all these names, and unfortunately or fortunately, most of these names right now, when I think unfortunately, if people are not bought into it, it becomes unfortunate. Most of these names are quoting at the all-time highs. Whether I still like them, answer is yes. But right now in this market, the point is, what do you buy? If you are buying from the longer term angle, you will have to learn to go away from defenses, because defenses is not the space where you are going to put in incremental money. If you expect the economy to kickstart, if you expect the investment cycle to restart maybe even 1-2 quarters later, you will have to learn to buy into cyclicals. What do you buy into cyclicals? Because quite a few of them have moved up in the last couple of months. Look at the way L&T has moved up. Look at the way Voltas has moved up. Crompton has moved up. So should I buy them now? I think buying on the hope that things will improve and the numbers will be good for the December quarter would be a little bit foolish. So therefore, go into names where you feel the downside is limited and the upside could be at least 20 to 30%. And some of the names which we like include names like Z, Lupin, Hindustan Zinc, Himmat Singha Seed. So I have been classifying my names or qualifying my names only from the angle that I should not be losing money if for some reason the market takes a tumble in the short term, if election results are not good, if RBI hikes rates a little bit much more than what market anticipates. So one has to be a little bit careful at this levels. We cannot dispute the fact that things have gone up a little bit too sharply in the last 2 months. We cannot dispute the fact that macros are still not improved, and we cannot dispute the fact that even if the markets go up, the fact is things on the ground have not improved much.
Sure. Amrish, I hope my voice is reaching you. I wanted your comments on where do you expect the markets to go in the medium term?
I think clearly the bottom has been formed at closer to 6,000, and we have in fact bounced back from those levels quite sharply twice. And now it seems that we are in that pre-election rally mode. And I think December 8th, when the results come out, I think that will be one of the major factors to be looked forward to. And I mean, one thing which we have noticed in the last 2 months is that slowly the retail investors are coming back, and that is what is supporting the other sectors, especially the mid cap and the small caps, where we have seen a decent amount of action. That is where it's coming from. And I mean, over the next couple of months, clearly we expect the other sectors to perform as compared to IT, pharma and FMCG, where we had seen performance in the last 2 years. So it is time to clearly get into cyclicals, get into metals. I think that's the space to be in.
And I think that's what Mehrabun was also saying. If you're looking at from an investment point of view, from a slightly longer term perspective, you start moving out of defensives. Amrish, right now, we're going to be closely watching out for market reaction to the GDP numbers. Then your focus is going to be on what happens with the RBI policy as well, and whether or not this time around you actually see a pause in any sort of rate action. How do you expect financials to make their move over the next month or month and a half?
In fact, financials, I mean, especially if you're talking of banks, clearly from these levels, we are decently positive. I don't think the GDP numbers or the monetary policy will have too much of an effect on these stocks, because clearly I think people are looking at over the next 6 months, looking at the election results post May, June as to what would happen. And the expectation is there that we could possibly have a better future with a stronger government at the center. And based on those, I mean, those hopes we'll be having a rally, and not really based on fundamentals, because there is a major contrast between what people are hoping for and the actual situation at the ground level. So this rally is going to be based on hopes and not on fundamentals.
Sure. Are you banking more on making more investments? I mean, from a trading angle as well as an investment angle, is the trend shifting towards mid caps and small caps now?
Absolutely, that's what I said. I think over the next 5-6 months you'll have most of the mid cap and the small caps rallying. But I would say the better of them, I don't see the cats and dogs again starting to move. It would be the better of the mid cap and the small caps, which were ignored by the markets in the last 3-4 years. I think you'll see a decent movement there. And again, if you're talking of sector specific, clearly, other than metals and banks, which I talked about, auto ancillary is the other space where I think one should be starting to invest, because that's where we actually see, basically based on exports, is where things should start looking up.
Okay. Mehrabun, I want to come to you with Tata Steel. This month has been a phenomenal month for the counter. In fact, you've been seeing it, increasing investor wealth by, quite a lot over the last few months, rather. Is it the end of the road? As in, do you see that pausing now, since it's already been, so pacey in terms of those gains?
I think it's a certain buy, if you ask me, at some point of time. I've always been stating this. I think from 240-50 rupees, I had been stating that Tata Steel, you have to go and buy somewhere, because you need to have one metal stock in your portfolio. So if you like the non-ferrous thing, I think we like Hindustan Zinc, and Tata Steel is the other stock which we like. Now 220 becoming a 190, it happened. You can't buy at the bottom. But certainly a 220 is going to become a 300, 350, 400 one fine day, because ultimately this company, and with improvement happening globally, I think Tata Steel is a stock to be in. That's the way our view was for the last many months. And suddenly, yes, you are right. A 190 has become a 380, 370, 390, and whether one should be buying now. Now, if one looks at the sheer stock price performance, to look at a stock which was just at 190, 200 rupees a couple of months ago, and now at 380, 390, 370, should I buy into it? It's a very difficult call. But again, I repeat, while the stock could react, the stock could possibly hit a speed breaker in terms of the way the stock has moved up. The fact is, you need to have Tata Steel in a portfolio somewhere. So while the numbers may prompt a correction for the December quarter, the stock could come down by 5, 7, 8%. I think Tata Steel is the stock to be in if somebody is invested, or possibly look at buying into it if there is a correction in the counter.
Okay, that's Tech Mahindra for you. On your screens, up 1% right now. The board has gone ahead and approved the merger with MES, which is the engineering services subsidiary of M&M. This is definitely going to further strengthen the manufacturing vertical for Tech Mahindra. Remember, the revenues for FY13 for this particular subsidiary has been closer to $33 million, with the margin which is substantially higher at about 27%. So definitely going to be adding on more weight for Tech Mahindra. Big clients they've got the likes of Honda, Renault, Nissan, Bentley as their clients. So this is going to be a shot in the arm of sorts. Amrish, you're tracking Tech Mahindra?
Yes, I suppose this clearly, like you said, would be margin accretive. So surely it is positive, and I think that's what is shown in the stock price movement. And again, if you go by the sort of results which had come out last quarter, I think clearly this would be one of the outperformers in the IT space.
Okay. Any other stocks, Amrish, that you would like to talk about?
Among the auto ancillaries, clearly one stock which I'd like to talk about is Exide Industries. Similar to CEAT, which I had recommended about 15 months back, talking of the replacement market booming. The same theory applies to Exide, but then CEAT has moved extremely well, because again the rubber prices also have fallen, whereas for Exide the lead prices haven't really fallen in tandem. And at the same time they had forex issues in the last 2 quarters, because of which Exide has underperformed and still remained at 111, whereas CEAT has moved from levels of about 90, 100 to closer to about 280, 290. Going ahead over the next 5-6 months, we expect the lead prices to start softening. And since the rupee has in fact stayed at around these levels of 62, 64 after seeing 68, 69, I think Exide should start performing. So I think at about 111, 112, there is not much of a downside risk, whereas upside could be about 150, 160.
All right, got that. Gentlemen, thanks very much, Amrish as well as Mehrabun. Appreciate both of you taking out the time and joining us with your views. We are going to take a very short break right here. Coming right back with more market talk with Gautam Shah.